On this episode of Slightly Average Guys, we have a great story about a voluptuous bike ride. We introduce a new segment of the show called Ryan's Rant. Teeter shares an epic hiking story about an emergency number 2, and what we're watching.
Hey, you beautiful people, welcome back to our Slightly Average Guys podcast on every single Thursday. Most times, hopefully we do this every Thursday. We might miss a couple, but it's okay because we'll make it up. But we really appreciate you joining us live. For you viewers that are out there live right now, feel free to comment, chat, hang out while we have this solid 30 to 45 minute podcast. For the viewers who are watching us and listening to us every Thursday, we really appreciate all of you and want to shout out. Please continue watching, continue listening, and continue submitting your feedback through the slightlyaverageguys@gmail.com. Give us feedback. Give us topics to talk about. Give us anything you want. We'd be more than happy to bring it up. We appreciate you being here.
Yeah, and the chat's even saying I look like I'm about to go smoke some weed because I got like a Hawaiian shirt on here, but that's mostly because, I have tomorrow and Monday off, so I'm in total vacation mode even before vacation mode hit.
He can do what he wants.
Yes, do whatever I would like.
He's a grown man.
So, all right, I would just like to point out that we are on it for doing every single Thursday night. We've been really good. We are definitely, even if you don't see us live Thursday night, we're still posting them every single Thursday. They're a week behind in posting, so if you'd like to see the current episode, make sure that you're catching us live so you get it in the Thursday feed. We post it all of the places. Let's jump right in here. Ryan had texted me this week, talked about a few crazy things that were happening to him. And, he's just got a really good story. And it's got to do with mountain biking. He tends to hit on that topic a lot, but I feel like there's a very voluptuous, story to this. So let's just roll with it, Ryan. Tell us what you got.
Interesting word to use to describe the story.
And I'm just going to say, the more you get out there, the more you have to talk about, right? So get out there. Go do some stuff. The more you do, the more you can talk about. The more you experience, the more you can talk about. It starts right there. And that's what I'm trying to do in these hard COVID times. Anyways, it starts with mountain biking. And I'm going to try to be as open-minded as possible. I'm going to try to be as descriptive as possible without going over the edge, right? Some storytellers can just really go over the edge. Example, my mom telling stories all the time. Shout out to my mom. And so, okay, we were mountain biking, and you see everybody while you're mountain biking. And this will lead into another topic down the road. We see horseback riders. We see hikers. We see dogs, with their owners. We see boys, girls of all ages, right? Men, women, across the entire board. I'm just making a point here. So my dad and I decided to take a lovely stroll, late stroll, right before the sun goes down. And we do this pretty decent mountain bike ride. In this mountain bike ride, very casual, very going, taking our time because we know it's a tougher mountain bike ride. So we just want to take our time and not exhaust ourselves. We're coming to the end. We're excited, right? We're on a trail that we know pretty well. It's pretty easy. The tough part is already over with. And I'm leading my dad. I know he knows the trail, so I don't need to he knows what he's doing at this point, so I don't need to wait for him too much at least. All of a sudden, I just look up. I'm like a reindeer in the headlights.
Reindeer? You mean just deer in the headlights?
Yeah, well, it's Christmas time, so I thought I'd pull in the reindeer.
Yeah. Oh, fair.
Fair? Yeah? Okay. Yeah. Not going to get too much shit for that? Okay. Yep. Cool. Glad that went over smoothly.
Good safe.
I am a reindeer in the headlights. Just bonkers. I'm not looking at anything else. And I don't know if any of our viewers, any of our listeners would be able to guess what I'm looking at. It's a fellow mountain biker of the female sorts. And she's got 2 honkers just eyeballing me. And these aren't just any honkers at all. These suckers are like double D's. And I brought just a little prop today to show you. So for you live viewers, for the people who review on YouTube afterwards, I brought a little prop to properly demonstrate the, at least up and down, right?
Size
The
comparison.
size of these things. So let me see if I can back up on the camera here. Get the mic out of the way just a little bit.
For those audio listeners, he is holding a baby pumpkin up to
I'm
his
holding
chest.
a pumpkin.
Bigger softball, right? Maybe.
These are way bigger than softballs.
Okay.
These things are, so everybody knows how a backpack is worn, right? You get straps that go over your shoulders. They kind of cut across your chest. I don't see any type of bra. These things are double D, if not bigger. Just, again, staring me in the face. There's nothing else I'm looking at. I don't know if she's wearing a helmet. I don't know what bike she's riding, if she's even riding a bike at this point. I don't know anything about her but these boobs. And this is why I'm being so descriptive on these boobs, I guess.
Okay.
And it was absolutely crazy. Like, and then later on, I stopped up the mountain because I know my dad was going to see it, right? So we stop up at the mountain. And I'm like, Dad, I didn't even say it. He goes, Ryan, those are one of those things that make you fall off the mountain. Like, you got to be careful with those. And so back to my statement of like the backpack. Backpack comes over your shoulders and crosses over. Again, there could have been a really small bikini underneath there. There was no shirt. Stomach was sticking out. Boobs were just hanging on by the threads of the backpack or the backpack straps. There was, let me just call it cleavage, but no boobs were touching at all. So it was like open cleavage, right? And it was just absolutely insane. We stop up on the top of the mountain and my dad and I are just discussing this. And I go, Dad, did you even like get a look at her face? Like, did you have any idea what she looked like? Any idea what she was wearing? You know, was she wearing a helmet? Did she have sunglasses? My dad goes, Ryan, I didn't get that far up. I am just, and I would love to go into a little bit more detail and be a little bit more graphical and vulgar, right? But I want to kind of try to keep this a little bit tame because man, oh man, did I have some comments. This was borderline softcore porn on a mountain bike trail, and it was kind of cool.
So what you're saying is, you know, the trail, it wasn't too strenuous or anything else, but that backpack was putting in work.
The backpack was working.
So here's the craziest part about this. Anybody who's gone mountain biking, anybody who's ridden a bike in general, hell, anybody who's driven a car, you go into a rough section and you're bouncing around. You're bouncing around, right? These pair of honkers were just not moving at all. These suckers were stiffer than her mountain bike. Like,
so they were built for speed, not for comfort.
These things were built for speed. And oh gosh, it was an amazing experience. It's one of those once in a lifetime experiences because you never see that stuff. And I'm just, at this point, I normally carry my GoPro when I mountain bike, and I didn't. And I really, really, really messed up. I could have had footage for everybody tonight. And I first of all just want to apologize that I don't.
Yeah, Ryan texts us, you know, and he's like, hey, this happened. Me and Andy are like, so you got pics or anything? He's like, no. Well, we're like, it didn't happen. Sounds like a fantasy. You just woke up with this story.
But kudos, shout out, firm handshake to the man who built those. Because otherwise, it would have been, who knows what the story could have been. But because of the steady hand and dedication to one's craft, you were able to witness the 8th, 9th wonders of the world, right?
And I'm gonna shout out to Heather out there, Heather McGrinda, and she wanted them to be seen. And I applaud anybody from that stature who could just literally be like, "Here I am," you know, take a look at me. And that takes a lot of guts to do that. So kudos and applause to her, and also thank you for what you had let me see.
Well, we're all seeing, you know, somebody that looks, you know, like he's mildly off-duty Santa Claus trying to be thug life in the middle between me and Ryan. So, Andy, why don't you explain what your getup is?
You know, that's a great question. I'm really glad you asked because I don't have an answer, and so I'm just going to try to come up with it.
Just explain what's on your chest, because I don't think anybody heard that at the beginning part.
It's an alpaca, and it's festive, and I figure, listen, we had the Christmas tree, Christmas discussion decorations, and I decided to bring it out, and it's getting to that time of year where I guess the other type of people start to decorate. So we'll just add this to the lineup. The rest of it, listen, I'm just weird. I don't really have any other explanation on reasoning. I just think it goes good together, and here we are. So.
I thought, with the Steelers cap, I thought you were just trying to be like Ben Roethlisberger for a second.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to show my love to my team. They're undefeated, right? So.
They are, and I do want to mention that you said it looks well together. And honestly, if you were colorblind, it probably would, right?
Okay.
But yes, as far as it go, yes, it does go well together because it's just you, man. You know what? You got to have something different, and you are it. You're just special.
One could say this is my flair, right? Instead of buttons, it's just weird. Combinations of stuff. It's just, my above normal flair.
You don't want the minimum pieces of flair because you don't want to just be minimal. You want to, you want to have upper management written all over you. And you're definitely achieving that.
I mean, if this doesn't scream out to anybody that's watching potential upper management material, I don't know what does.
That's
right?
true.
I would want this individual in charge of my company or my division. I think that's a no-brainer there.
No brainer, especially with the shades. So. Definitely with the shades. That's what puts it over the top.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna do a new section, new point of the show, starting this week, and it's kind of been in other show or other random episodes, but we're actually gonna call it here. Okay. I don't know if you noticed, but Teeter Time over there is very opinionated on certain things, and we're gonna turn this little segment into Ryan's rant. Ryan, this week, kind of tied into
Did
your
you just come up with
story.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, Ryan's rant about this week is kind of along the lines of the mountain bike story, just without the bike and without the boobs. Go.
I have a lot to say about a lot of things, okay? And again, these are opinions. That's all. I'm not saying they're facts. I just am very opinionated about those opinions. I would say I would hold strong to them. And to push this a little bit further, we all go to the dog park. We all walk our dogs. We all take care of our dogs when they go to the bathroom. Obviously not when they go pee, right? You just let it soak into the beautiful earth that we have. But what do you do with the number 2, right? What do you do with the poo-poo that goes on the ground? You pick it up. At least 90, if I had to put a percent to it, if you had to put a percent to how many people actually pick up their dog's poop in public, not in your own backyard, in public, how many people pick up their dog poop?
Ooh, if it's not 50-50, it's barely 60-40.
Yeah, I don't think it's a lot.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
interesting.
People are lazy. I
was going to put that to like 75-80.
Okay.
That don't or do?
That do.
I wouldn't put it that high.
Okay, interesting. So again, I'm on the mountain bike trail, and what occurs to me is dogs and their owners, right? Just casually strolling, right? There's hikers, there's mountain bikers, there's horses, all on the same trails. We're just sharing the trail. The pedestrians and the walkers yield to the mountain bikers. The mountain bikers yield to the horses, which are, obviously big. You don't want to startle a horse. That could be dangerous for a lot of people. But as you're going down these trails, you're seeing dogs. You're seeing every dog owner kindly pick up their poop, because most trail lovers pick up their dog's poop. I would say it's just a respectful thing to do.
Yeah,
not all of them by any means, but I would say most of them. So why? Okay, hold on, jumping ahead, getting ahead of myself.
Focus.
Don't rant the rant.
Don't rant the rant. Dogs, domesticated. Horses, also domesticated. Are there wild horses? Absolutely. Are there wild dogs? Absolutely. They are on the same spectrum, just one takes a little bit less effort to take care of. So, when it comes to dogs pooping, why in the world
This is the longest
do you
way to get to this point.
Yes. Why in the world are owners of a dog expected to pick up the poop and not a horse owner expected to pick up the horse's poop? Carry a backpack, for God's sake. I don't care what you do. Scoop that sucker up, put it in your backpack, and carry on. This is not my problem. This is your domesticated horse's problem that you decide to just let shit everywhere.
So your rant is that you have to pick up after your dog because it's respectful. Why does a horse just get to shat on the trail?
Everywhere. And all they do is throw some grass over the top of it. Like, that'll take care of it.
I mean, I got to admit, this is actually a valid rant. I mean, because, like, it's easier to step over dog poo than it is, like, this massive horse turd.
Yeah, you gotta jump.
Yeah.
So hit us up in the comments. If you had a horse, just in general, do you think horse owners, as they're riding a horse, should pick up their horse poop on a trail? And shout out to Colin, all right, Colin.tv. They have harnesses that can pick up horse's poop as it drops, right? Because we know where horse poop's going. It's going straight down, straight south as it falls and as they're walking.
Straight down.
Oh my God, you rock.
Oh, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it.
But I think you should be, end of the story, if my dog is domesticated and I have to pick up his poop everywhere I go, even if I'm missing a doggy bag, right, and somebody happens to see me not pick up his poop while I don't have a doggy, like, sorry, well, I'm not going to pick it up with my hands. You should be expected to pick up your horse's poop as well, anywhere you go. What do you think? Comments.
Let me ask you a question. If I'm a person who doesn't pick up my horse poop, am I a person that picks up my dog poop as well? Would you make that assumption about me?
Say that one more time.
If I don't pick up my horse poop, do you automatically assume I'm not going to pick up my dog poop?
Kinda, yeah.
So either way,
If you can't tackle one, you can't tackle the other.
What if I do dog poop and not horse poop?
I have never owned a horse, nor do I ever want to, because people who own horses are crazy.
Yeah.
I would assume same thing.
So it's not actually the act of poop then. It's the size of poop that then determines whether you should or shouldn't pick it up. In these
So if
people's
I
minds.
go shit on a trail, then do I have to pick it up? I'm just gonna go shit on trails then.
Well, Ryan,
That's a pretty decent size.
do we want to get into this?
I kind of do because I think it's fantastic. So if my dog pooped and I buried it, is that okay?
Yes.
Yes.
That's nature.
So if you bury the poop, it's okay.
Well, like here's my piece. Get it off the trail.
This is going really far.
Okay. I've been on a hike before with my dogs and then realized that like one of them shits, and then I didn't have a bag or anything to pick it up. We were on a mountain, nowhere near a spot that had little bags, nobody around us or anything else. And I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? I was like, I'm not leaving this right here in like this little walkway that was like about this big between these two big boulders, So I found a rock and flipped it up and flung it off the trail because I'm like, I'm at least gonna get it off the trail.
Absolutely.
Is the issue that they poop on the trail? What if I poop, like, here's the trail, what if I poop over here?
No.
Not I, but like, what if the animal
Like
poops
if you
over
have a vessel to pick it up, which you should,
A backpack for a horse.
Which if you have a tote bag for the horse crap, you should pick it
And
up.
all you need for a horse is like those things that collect salad. Like, those salad things, those salad tongs. All you need is salad tongs. You just pick it up and put it in a backpack. But what if you have, to Colin.tv's point, What if you have a Great Dane? What if you have an enormously large dog, which could compare to a small horse's number 2?
So if you have a pony,
we're talking the same stuff here.
So if you have a pony, you should pick it up. But if you have a horse, full-grown horse, you don't got to worry about picking it up.
There's lines that need to be drawn,
and I think
lines that need to be extended here.
I think the line that you're trying to draw is whether you're a dog, a horse, a donkey, a teeter time, anybody. If you're shitting on the trail, you need to pick it up.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What about a mini horse? Horse poop, just not a lot.
No,
you're calling that a dog then?
Again, it's poop. I thought we just drew the line that is if it's poop. Why this topic's getting way too long. Like, why get deep in here?
Just pick it up, people. And I know it's never going to happen. I'm to get it changed, right? I'm going to have people sign petitions and stuff like that, and that's honestly not going to happen. But I have to constantly try to avoid horse poop while I'm mountain biking.
All right, so let me give you a scenario. Hang on, Andy. Let me give you a scenario. You're a human. It's one of us, right? Let's just throw this, Ryan. Okay, I'm gonna throw this at you. Okay, you've gotten up. You decided, maybe you're at a bed and breakfast that morning because you were out of town or whatever, and you had a really nice breakfast. You decide, I'm gonna go hiking, right?
Oh my gosh, you're bringing up memories.
I'm gonna start hiking up this mountain. It's kind of in the woods, but there's people around you, right? And all of a sudden, next thing you know, you feel like, and you're like, oh,
it was bigger than that, but yes.
Bad. Wait.
Go.
Wait, are you telling me you've lived through this?
I've had an experience where I have had to, and I'm okay with bringing it up. I'm okay. This is an experience. It's a funny experience, and I'm glad I lived through it. I had an experience where I had to immediately leave the middle of this 9-mile trail to go number 2. And this is where then you had bought me that Christmas gift the following year.
Yes.
Wait, how far into the 9 miles were you?
Oh, probably about more than a quarter. Let's say a third.
So you're in a third of the 9 miles, not on your way back.
Yes, I'm going up.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, I have this beautiful breakfast, right? I'm staying at an Airbnb, a bed and breakfast, and the lady's making me everything. I'm having a great time. I'm in a Vermont, which I've never been to before, and it's actually very beautiful, especially around fall. And I'm going to go hike the tallest mountain, Mount Mansfield, the tallest mountain in Vermont. I have to go to the bathroom, but it's not serious, so I'm just not going to go to the bathroom. Get to the trail, also have to go, but it's like not serious. It's like one of those things like, yeah, but no. And so I just continue up the mountain. No joke, Ryan legit called it. I get to a point where I'm like, nope, this is happening, and this has to happen now. So, but here's my point. I don't just pull my trousers down in the middle of the trail and say, yep, sorry, public, this has got to happen. No, I find like a little borderline cave about let's just call it 20, 30, 40 yards off the side of the trail, totally secluded. But ladies and gentlemen, this was rough.
So now,
leads were involved.
Did you go to the little cave thing only because there were people on the trail and you felt like you needed to be secluded, or if there wasn't anybody around, would you have just dropped trow and then done it in the trail?
Absolutely not, because I heard voices constantly, and these voices were getting louder and louder, which tells you they're coming closer. And everybody's trying to explore and look around as they're hiking and being adventurous and stuff. And then all of a sudden they're going to see my white ass just hanging out, dropping to number 2 about 30 feet down off this cliff.
Wow.
Oh geez. But wait, it doesn't end there, because did you just leave it where it was sitting?
I left it. I had to. Again, when you don't have the materials, it can be accepted every once in a while. Oh, slap on the hand, it's gonna happen. But I finished the trail. And the whole time,
no. I'm not going to let you skip over the best part of the story.
Oh my gosh, maybe I forgot.
The best part of the story is you just crapped everywhere. How'd you clean it up?
God damn you, Ryan.
Yeah, we're talking
leaves,
t-shirt. Okay,
smooth ass leaves were definitely involved, right? Those were not enough because it was let's just call it an upset tummy. And so leaves were involved. They were not working at all. So guess what? I'm looking. What do I have? I got a backpack, shirt. I got shorts. Underneath my shorts, I got boxers. I got trousers. Those are the next best thing, man. Can I hike without those? Can I still be like not nude? Absolutely. Those came off 100% of the way, and that's what I use. And those are now left on probably a third of the way up Mount Mansfield in Vermont. Those were tossed to the side.
And then Ryan continues like anybody else. Me, at least.
Probably
I don't know about Andy. I would have turned around and walked back to the car. No, Ryan's like, I'm a third of the way in here. I'm gonna finish the 2/3 of this hike without any pants and risk extreme chafing.
Dude, the chafing was real. I constantly, throughout the rest of the hike, like 2/3 of the rest of the hike, I felt like I smelled poop. I was constantly like one of those like, is that me? I was very like people were behind me like hiking up, and I was like, oh no, go ahead. You sure? Yeah, I'm real sure. I'm real sure. You don't want to follow me. It was just a miserable experience.
So you get done. Now, is this hike, you go, you finish, and then you come back the way that you came, you come down the way you came up?
It's borderline like a U shape, so I come back a different way.
So you did not have to go back to the scene of the crime?
Nor would I have been able to find it, to be honest.
Okay.
I can't even explain to you how perfect that scene was where that happened. It was the best scenario possible for my situation.
Okay.
So... Did you end up making it back to the hotel and have to immediately take a shower, is what you're saying?
That happened, yes. The shower was immediate. I luckily I had a rental car and it wasn't mine, so, you know, they can claim that stuff. I was nervous the whole time because once you smell it, you always smell it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can't get
as soon as that accident happened, I smelt it throughout the rest of that hike. And this is, again, the tallest mountain in Vermont, Mount Mansfield. This was an experience that it was had. And that Christmas, I think I went there around June. December for Christmas, right? They knew about this. I told them about this story. They had purchased 500 expandable little pills. Picture them being like Tums, right? Like Tums, if you've ever seen those. They were like those. You got them wet, and they expand into a paper towel. Basically,
not just a paper towel. It was like a piece of toilet paper.
Yeah. Piece of toilet paper. Mm-hmm. And no joke, I still use those to these days. That is the perfect Christmas gift for anybody who loves exploration and hiking and camping in general. So for you people watching, go get these little wipes that you get wet and they expand. There's a box of like 500. They're amazing.
They're like towel tabs or something like that is the name of them.
Yeah, super awesome. But I'm glad I got that out live here. Glad everybody was able to listen to that experience.
Well, you know what's funny is we talked about that, like hinted at it in like episode 2 or 3. So now we're 10 episodes in. I'm glad we finally, circled the bus back to that original story.
Yeah. So,
all right. Off the poop. Done with Ryan's rant. It will be back next week. I'm pretty sure he will be opinionated about something else that we can bring up. So look for that to come. Yeah. Next topic. Want to kind of just let's change it up a little bit. What are we watching? All right. And Ryan's been talking a bunch, so I'm going to jump in and start this one. I haven't been watching a lot of TV. I got a lot of stuff with this, being able to do the podcast, produce it afterwards, edits in order to post it, a bunch of different stuff I'm doing on the side, as well as work, obviously. So, excuse me. But a little bit of TV that I have watched, me and my wife always try to look for, a show that we can watch, at least sit down once a week and watch something together. Hasn't been much to pick from just because there hasn't been a lot of new TV out. So kind of going through, Netflix, don't really feel like watching Christmas shows yet. It's just too early. I know that's against Andy. He'd be like, he's probably got it on 24-hour loop. So jumped into Amazon Prime, which I normally don't watch a lot of stuff on Amazon Prime. Mostly if it's anything, it's The Boys,
Great
It's a
show.
random show. And there was one, like, not Utopia, it's a different one. It's really good. Anyway, what we ended up coming across was, I don't know if anybody's heard of the Adventure Challenge, or it's like the Eco Challenge, is what it's sometimes called. And they have an episode that was recorded last year, and it's called like the Great Adventure Race, I think is what it's called, or the Greatest Adventure on Amazon Prime. And it is like, it's got Bear Grylls, and it's like kind of like what you would imagine if somebody tried to just say Amazing Race. What do you envision it as? And it's not running across the world. It's like they pick a continent and you pretty much go all over that continent, not through cities and towns. It's like you're hiking and biking, and it's like Iron Man on steroids. 10 days long. 10 days that you have to finish this thing in. You know, the top teams finish it in 5. You know, the last teams that are crossing the line, you know, and there's all these different checkpoints that you have to hit. It was awesome. It is not like a reality TV show from the standpoint of it's all produced and has all these weird, wacky things that everybody does, and it's kind of like pre-scripted. It's not. It's just like following these people doing this ridiculous, you know, trails. It's really, really good. Highly say watch it if you're just looking for something to kind of put on in the background. Kind of want to watch every so often. It's really good. Just look for Eco Challenge, and it'll be the most recent one that came up. There's like 3 different ones. The other ones suck. This is the best one that was recorded last year. Andy, what do you got?
So there's a series on Netflix that's very similar. I don't remember the name of it, but I watched a season. They take these people to the Arctic Circle. They drop them off, and you're just there. And there's no set time.
What's the name of the show?
I don't know.
Alone.
That might be it.
Yeah, I was just about to mention it. Go on. Sorry, Andy.
Okay, so it's fantastic. And so you get like a litany of items, and you can choose like a crossbow, or I don't think they give you guns, but you can choose like all this other stuff. So I watched it, and the guy that ended up winning was just alone for like almost 45 days or 50 days, and you just survive, right? Like you build your shelter, you hunt, you fish until the snow comes and all of it. Fantastic. Yeah. Heather said it's Alone. Yeah. Great show. So I watched that. So for me, my rotation, anybody that knows me, I love The Office. I watch that till I can't watch it anymore. And I'll find a way to figure that out. So that's in my regular thing. The Boys, that's a great show. I just started watching Schitt's Creek. It's fantastic.
I can't get into that one.
Hilarious.
What do you like about it?
Yeah, tell us what you like.
I just can't.
Yeah. So the random, like we were millionaires and we had all this money, and now we're in this rando town. And I love Chris Elliott. I've always liked that guy. I think he's just like, his dry sense of humor is just, just appealing to me. And his name is Roland. And it took me an entire season to realize his name is Roland Shit. And I was like, how did I miss that? I can't believe I missed that.
No
and
way.
His wife's name is Jocelyn. And their house, it says The Shits. Like, I cannot believe it took me that long to see that. Let's see, what else am I watching? I mean, of course, I'm a Star Wars fan, so Mandalorian.
Ew, David.
Yeah. Let's see, what else am I watching? Really, I'll go back and forth between Netflix, anything on Apple TV, Prime, and I'll just look for any and all new stuff. I'll watch something for like 2 or 3 times. I'll watch stuff with my kids, like we watch these sports shows, and so. But that's pretty much it.
Ryan, what have you been watching?
So Corey's been watching more. I don't want to say a decent amount, but more of Schitt's Creek, and I'll watch it with her, and I think it's funny for sure. Like the dry humor, what you had just mentioned with their names, I've never actually caught on to either. So that's actually pretty great in itself. It does have its funny moments as well, but I guess the reason I really don't prefer it is just because no, these people are just like, I mean, borderline ritzy, living in a shitty town.
Sure.
But what I have been watching is, I guess, a little bit of that. I've honestly been watching, just trying to watch football right now, because I've been trying to get into it, right? This is the first time I've been doing fantasy, listen to the other podcasts in like 8 years. So I've been just really trying to watch a little bit more football and get into it since I, paid $100 to get into this fantasy football league. And so that's what I'm doing. But also, I did rewatch the first season of The Mandalorian to get ready for the season 2. And I just watched season 2, episode 1, which was fantastic. I have episode 2 to watch, and I believe episode 3 is already there. So I'm super pumped. I love The Mandalorian. I love the storyline behind it. Andy, looked like you had something to say.
I did. I want to add one to my lineup is Fargo. I love that series. It's on FX, and it's like an extension or continuation of the movie, but this is like the 3rd or 4th season. Great show. Highly recommend that.
So
and so that's actually a great comment that Colin.tv just had mentioned. It's like a borderlines It's Always Sunny, right? Except these people, they're terrible people and they don't even know it. And that's why I think it kind of pisses me off, because I'm like, it's funny, but it's like, man, especially the wife. The wife in Schitt's Creek just looks like she's in Halloween season 24/7 because she looks like a damn witch.
She wears different wigs. She's got a whole wall of wigs. And
all she wears is black and white.
Yeah.
Her face is like the palest ever. She looks like your alpaca on your shirt constantly. She just spits at people. She is an alpaca, just with a wig.
The accent that she has is, there's like no place of origin for it. It's just this random accent that she does, and it's fantastic. Yeah, she's from Beetlejuice. That's right. She was Lydia. No, not Lydia. I forget the mom. But yeah, it's a great show, and you're right. They are awful people, and they just don't see it.
Yeah, which is what makes it funny for sure. But yeah, those are football and The Mandalorian. Really, other than that, I just got YouTube TV, which is another podcast that we talked about. Again, if you haven't watched our other podcasts, go back, check them out. We talk about a lot of the stuff and really kind of try to bring them all together. I feel we've done a pretty good job on. So The Mandalorian and then football as well.
There's some people in the chat. McHeather Grinda's talking about she just started watching The 100 on Netflix. That's a CW show that literally just ended like 3 weeks ago.
Brian, that was a big show for you.
Dude, I love that show. Like, first season, the best one out of all of it. That one is like... That's one of those shows kind of like Lost, where it was so good the first season that like I don't think anybody expected it to. So everybody's like, oh, shit. Like, how do we write 2 to not be like 1? And then how do we write 3 to not be like 1 or 2, and then it's like, hey, yeah, you go through somebody's bunghole and it's like, whoa, we're in a whole different world type of thing, So it's good. Still don't not knocking on it. The last season's been out. I haven't been able to watch it yet. And I kind of skipped about 5 or 6 episodes on last season, just jumped through it, so it's one of those shows, starts out better than I think it's going to end, but still a good show.
Yeah.
All right. Next, and the final topic is kind of a takeaway for potentially anybody on the stream that's watching us or listening to us, but I have a challenge for Ryan. Okay?
Oh, God. I don't know what's coming.
So, a little while ago, I got on TikTok. Found out that it was extremely addictive. Got myself off TikTok. Andy got himself off TikTok as well, cold turkey. Then Andy and our friend Dawn, who's Dawn, who may or may not be watching, kept sending, actually Chrissy did as well, kept sending freaking TikTok videos, in a chat, in a text, in which you can watch a single one, but you can't watch anything else, which is really good. However, so many get sent. Next thing you know, I'm like, damn, I need to download TikTok again. So I download TikTok. I want to know
what this challenge is. And
I get lost in TikTok. So the challenge is, Ryan, I think you would actually like it because you like Snapchat, and this is like Snapchat on like, how bad I hate Snapchat.
Yeah, you're not on it anymore.
Yeah, I cut that out cold turkey like 2 years ago.
I would Snapchat you almost every day.
Yep, not anymore. But man, TikTok.
So what's your challenge? Just get on TikTok?
So my challenge is for you to get on TikTok, and you have to like be on it. Like, I mean, don't force yourself to be on it, but like report back in a week. Next week on our next week's episode, I want to see how far you get lost in TikTok.
Okay, so I literally have. Isn't this some Chinese app that I have to worry about? Like,
Well,
being like all up in my grill and shit.
well, you got an Android phone like me, so all your data's getting stolen anyway.
Well, there's me downloading TikTok. I've never downloaded it.
All right, so you're gonna report back next week how and like what's gonna happen is one day, whether it's on the weekend, you during work day, or whatever else, all of a sudden you're gonna look up and you're gonna be like, did I just lose an hour and a half? I thought that was 5 minutes. Like,
So we should take.
Seems like every day.
We should take bets on how many days starting right now before Ryan gets maybe not hooked, but sends us his first TikTok through text. So today's Thursday the 12th. I'm gonna go. What do you have going on this weekend?
Nothing. I'm waiting for my new Xbox to arrive, and that's not until Monday.
I'm gonna go Sunday. I'm gonna go Sunday.
oh, it's gonna be Saturday. It's gonna be Friday night or Saturday, depending upon if he hangs out with friends or something.
Yeah, it's gonna be tonight. You don't even know.
Yeah, probably only because we're getting into it. But so for those that don't know, TikTok is like short form video of what it used to be called Musical.ly, right? And then the Chinese company bought it and changed the name to TikTok. And it was originally you doing certain dances and stuff with audio, with music. That's why it used to be called Musical.ly, behind the scenes. So now everybody can just record video. You can play music over it, which is nice because you don't get a illegal DMCA takedown notice or anything like that for things. But like you can do stupid dances to it. But then there are people that like literally just have the most hilarious shit ever. You know, there was this one guy. I'm gonna explain the one. One guy, super beard and everything. He's like, guys.
That's great.
I am 35 years old. 35 years old. And I just found out that I did not know how to wipe my ass until today. He's like, I've been doing it wrong. 35 years. Okay? 35 years. He's like, so I'm sitting there on the John, you know, went number 2. And I'm like, oh, man. You know, I don't feel like doing the shit shuffle.
Everything leads back to poo in number 2
No,
on
does,
this
man,
episode.
It does.
That's the name of this episode is number 2.
Oh, my God.
So
Number 2.
he's like, I don't want to do the shit shuffle over to, you know, the hallway pantry where the toilet paper is. He's like, so I look up and see my daughter's, you know, baby wipes sitting there. And he's like, these should work. He's like, I'm telling you. He's like, my butthole's never felt this clean before. He's like, it felt like if I farted right now, it'd be like,
This
That's how
is the
smooth
thing.
it is.
Yeah.
you know, then he goes on and he starts reading the package. He's like, oh shit, you can't flush these? He's like, what the fuck are you supposed to do with this?
Oh,
you know?
no way.
You're supposed to throw this poo thing in my trash next to my toilet? What? So anyway, it gets good. It gets good. So
Well, you have
anybody
to
else
have
is
one of
out
those
there-
recycling bins that are for dog poop next to your toilet. So not only do you have the flushable toilet paper, now you have the exposable trash can specifically for your wipes. We're bringing it back full circle,
Or
baby.
full circle. So if anybody doesn't have it, I think McHather Grinder over here, she's talking it up. There's a bunch of people talking in the chat this week. We appreciate that. It looks like she doesn't have it. You need to download it. Get back to us in a week.
Yeah.
And
All right.
and we may need to all, you know, have an intervention next week and, you know, try to get all of us off of it. But do it. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So, all right. As always, we appreciate everybody watching us, listening to us, wherever. For those audio-only listeners that listen directly to the podcast, we really appreciate you. You guys are the original people that we started out with. We've now started to do live streaming like we start the top of the show with. We are on Twitch at twitch.tv/slightly average guys every Thursday at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So don't
Close
get
to
Andy.
8 p.m.
Andy, stop. Don't get Andy going on time zones. So feel free to jump in on that. We also post every single Thursday the week before episodes. So continue to watch or listen to us there, as well as if you'd like to just watch the video afterwards, we post that to YouTube as well. Appreciate everybody's time and join us next week.